Hi everybody, this is Boog Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on McFarlane Toys Spawn Series 31 Nightmare Spawn figure. So before we take a look at Nightmare Spawn, let's go ahead and take a look at the only accessory that he comes with, his base. So here he is with his base attached. There's a rod that runs from the bottom of the base up into his back. You just plug it in there, and he looks very, very awesome on this base. The flames are cast in translucent yellow plastic with some tones of orange and red painted over top of it. And that looks really good. Even the ground in the middle of the flames looks really good, and it's textured and painted very nicely. One of the cool things is he has some orange paint on his toes, making it look like the glow of the fire is near them. I think that looks amazing. McFarlane Toys really went the extra mile with this figure in terms of paint and sculpt detail. So now let's go ahead and take a look at his head sculpt. This might very well be the best head sculpt that McFarlane Toys has ever done. It looks amazing. The sculpt detail to it is crazy. The texturing to his skin, the dark brown and the light brown around the eyes is painted very nicely. Even his teeth. His teeth have a brown paint over top of them, making them look rotted. He has very bright green eyes. When the light hits them just the right way, it almost looks like they're glowing. But yeah, the texturing to the head and everything, it is just amazing. This is definitely a killer head sculpt. The cloak is also painted really nicely. In between all the folds, you get some light red and dark red paint. That looks really good. I feel like the tattering on the bottom could have been done just a little bit better, but it doesn't look bad overall. It is made of a very soft rubbery plastic, and here you can see some bright red painted over top of it, as well as some dark red. That looks really good. It also has a very subtle texturing to it. You can see right here where the light's on the cape at. It has some very subtle texturing to it, and that looks amazing. The wings look very, very nice. I like how they fade from that black into that brown and then into that lighter brown color, and the veins painted on it, it looks incredible. These wings are sculpted and painted very nicely. There is the back of them, again painted very nicely. But yeah, these just look so sick. His body looks really leathery. It looks like it's just stretched over his bones, that very thin frame. You can see the pelvis right here is kind of sticking out a little bit, and that looks really cool. The line here that runs from the skull up to his chest and back, that looks really good. It almost looks like it's stitched on. It has some brown, yellow, and black paint over top of it. That looks really cool. He also has these humongous gauntlets with spikes all over them. It has a black wash over top of the red and a little bit of brown paint too. The spikes are sculpted really nicely. It's got some really nice texturing in between all the spikes. I was blown away by this figure when I first got it. The sculpt and paint detail to this thing is crazy. He even has some really cool texturing to his hands and some light brown paint over top of them. That looks really cool. Spawn usually has a skull on his belt, but for some reason this Nightmare Spawn has a skull right there on his crotch. It is a kind of weird placement, but it is painted pretty nicely, all things considered. That dark brown paint starts fading into the light brown paint right here, and then there are Nightmare Spawn's toes. I just really like all the sculpt detail in between the bones sticking out right there in his toes. And as I said, these have some orange paint to them to give the effect that the flames are glowing there by his feet. So yeah, that looks incredible. So now let's go over his articulation. He is pretty limited in articulation. His head moves side to side very slightly. You can hear it kind of clicking. It kind of just clicks side to side very slightly. He has swivel biceps, swivel thoracic moves side to side, and that is it on mine. I'm not sure if the wings are supposed to move or if this is supposed to move because it does look like there's a cut right here. But mine's wings nor this joint right here, if that is a joint, move, and I'm not going to force them to. If you know anything about these old McFarlane figures, you know that they break just if you look at them the wrong way. So yeah, I'm definitely not going to force that. Even though this figure does have limited articulation, it is still incredible. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So for the only size comparison, I did actually mean to say comparison, not comparisons. But anyways, here he is next to the Rebirth Spawn figure. So overall, if you can find this figure, I would highly recommend picking it up. He has become really hard and expensive to find. But yeah, if you can find him, definitely pick him up because this is definitely my personal favorite Spawn figure ever made. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.